Santa's wish list for tonight will be we're going to discuss club contests, recruiting helpers, combined contests, contest dates, location, as well as refreshments. Everything that area directors and division directors need to put on for their contest. The area directors make sure to establish a deadline by which all contestants' name must be submitted to you. The deadline is important because you want to make sure that you need to know which contestants are competing in case you need to do a combined contest. That's why it's very important for you to ask your clubs to please give you the contestant's name before you all start working on a team combining content. That's why a deadline is very important. We all are leaders. We are here to support the clubs. The clubs need our vision to go ahead and move forward on what they need to do to move their contestants to the next level. It's time now to start recruiting your helpers. This is what you need. You need a contest master. The contest chair is the area director and the division director. They're the ones that's going to put together the programs and things like that. The contest master is more of like a master of ceremony. Someone like if you're at the Grammys, Country Music Awards, someone that is going to bring the program along. That's your contest master. You can already have that in mind on who you want to do that. You will need 2 timers. You will need 2 ballot counters and 2 to 3 sergeant at arms. The reason why we said 2 to 3 will depend on the doorways that you have entering your contest. There may be an entrance and an exit. There may be a third door, but you need to make sure there's a sergeant at arms, at each of the entrances into the contest to ensure once contest starts that no one is entering during the contest. The ballot counters, you need to have 2 of those. It's very important to try not to get the ballot counters that are representing somebody from the club that's competing, to not have it biased when it's time to actually report who is the winner for the contest. So again, contest master, 2 timers, 2 ballot counters, 2 to 3 sergeant at arms, depending on how many doors you have entering the contest. Combined contest. This is a big thing. Last year we did combined contest. Years before they have a combined test. It simply occurs when an area has fewer than 5 contestants participated in area contest. You actually want your contest to be within a 2-hour window. That's why it's very important. If you do not have everyone to actually participate, you need to combine. That's why your members mean that you can actually combine with someone else. Remember, 2 hours is what the contest needs to be, and you want to be respectful of everyone's time, including your helpers and your judges.
Dates for area contest, Eastern, February 28th, and then the rest of them go through March. Plains and Frontier, March 7th, Metro, and Town North. March 14th, Southern, March 21st. And anyway, that is the time frame, of course, to get all the area contests done. So depending on where you are, you know where you fit in. And then the division contest, we'll talk about this more, but these are going to be at central locations. Plains and Frontier, April 11th. Metro, Town North, and Southern, April 18th. The district contest, of course, is when we have our spring conference, and that is May 1st will be the evaluation. May 2nd is international, the second day of spring conference. Area and division directors are responsible for establishing the locations for area contests. All right. Now, The area contest, this is a little confusing. It says area and division directors, but what we're talking about here are the area contest. That is, it's not changing from what we have done in the past, in other words. So if you, for example, find a local church to hold yours in, which by the way is a really good way to go, they usually don't charge and just ask for a donation, then you need to establish that location yourself. The division contests, though, do have an established location. We are combining those this year. So Shriners Hospital of Frisco address is right there. This means that at the Shriners Hospital of Frisco, the division contest will actually be in one location. And district contest, this again is the spring conference basically. And UTD, Naveen Jindal School of Management, I believe we did that last year, is evaluation. And then the Davidson Grundy Alumni Center is international, and that will be during the spring conference.
A lot of the things that we're working against is actually location, 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 location. And so last year we actually stagnated, but the vision that Rhonda had, if you actually do your contest, for instance, Deborah, you or Frontier, if you do all your area contests beginning at 8:30 that morning, you have 4 areas. If the contests are 2 hours, you can get all 4 of your area contests done in that one day at that one location. Yeah. So if you do all of them just one day, instead of having contests like we did last year, we had a slew. And this is also very important for the judges. Last year, we had judges going all over DFW trying to get judges to judge contest. And that was a very difficult task. And because a lot of contests did start late because they're waiting for the judges to drive from one area or division to another division. But if you have all of the area contests that one day, then there's a greater chance that all the judges can be there and judge all the contests while they're there instead of driving all across town. And so that's why Rhonda made a great suggestion of if you just have contests that day, starting at 8:30 up until 6 p.m., roughly, with a 2 hour contest, then you can get all your areas done that particular day instead of stagnating it to different days. And again, trying to find judges to actually take care of all of District 50 for contests all over the city in so many different locations. Because unfortunately, this year, like last year, we don't have a centralized location like we had at UTD.
Yeah, Deborah, this is Rhonda. The idea would be if you could have a room, like maybe a couple of rooms for the contest and a room for the judges. You can do so many contests in a day at the same location. Has anybody ever done a showcase rather than a contest?
As a matter of fact, we did. I keep calling it a contest, but yes, that's another little legal loophole. It's good to know. It's actually a good thing to go ahead and do a showcase. Here's the reason. Because if you call it a club contest, then it's official. And that means if one of your contestants, well, let's say you have two people competing for evaluation, John and Mary, they're members of your club. All right. Let's say both John and Mary go over time. Well, both of them has been disqualified at the club level and are not qualified to move on to area if that happens. But if you do what you call a showcase, in a way, it's a little bit like a mock contest. It's just, it legally doesn't count. And because you can always put someone forward without having an official contest, if you do a showcase, if some technicality happens, you can still make sure that you have a representative from your club to put forward. So somebody could go over time and it's okay. With a showcase, it doesn't count because you called it a showcase instead of calling it a contest. highly recommended. Refreshments, while food and beverages are not mandatory, they're suggested as a gesture of hospitality for contestants, helpers, and guests. Please ensure that you clean up after each contest, and the best way to do that is to get volunteers to sign up for the cleanup crew. But as far as refreshments, I don't think that we have any money to extend to anyone for their area contest this year. At least that's my understanding. So you might be able to get some local places like a Starbucks or what have you to volunteer if you want to ask a local community. Or you might decide to cook some cookies in your oven or something. Anyway. So that is it for the slides.